Alright, what's going on, guys? So, if you've all seen the last video with the whole stealing Aunty thing, that's pretty much been sorted, but we'll talk about that later on in the video. Off to train day one, we're bringing back the fourth bench day. So, I've actually got my usual ascending fours today for squats, plus four sets of triples on tempo pause bench. So, I'm gonna go to the dentist first, and then we're gonna go train. Alright, let's get this week started. All right, so I'm sure everyone's dying to know what happened with the thieving auntie last week. So I guess here's a bit of a mini update. So we essentially settled with the children of the auntie. We had a discussion with them, and basically, it seems like the auntie might not be all okay up in the head. The, her children confronted her, and essentially, when they asked her why would you do these kind of things, she just said it was fun. Well, I guess it was fun for the Suns to pay us back some money, hey. So essentially, we just settled outside of the police and everything, and what we ended up doing was just getting them to financially compensate us for obviously all the clothes that were stolen or ruined, as well as the CCTV. So that's the update for now. Aside from that, there's really been not much else to update on because we've kind of sorted that out. That's given me and my partner and my family a lot of relief from the mental and physical fatigue of obviously thinking there's somebody out there to get us, right, and just having it settled is a big load off our chests. And as you can see from training as well, because of that not really being that much of an issue anymore, training actually did improve a significant amount. I was able to get a decent amount of sleep, as well as I was a bit more mentally locked in this week, and training went really well. So this is also the final week of phase two. As you all know, as I discussed my training earlier, my training essentially is broken down to 3 weeks plus 3 weeks plus 4 weeks, where the first 6 weeks are two phases of just ramping up, and then the last week is the actual prep. So these weeks were mainly just to kind of just fine tune the body and get everything going the way it should. The only thing that changed was really my bench due to the fact that my shoulder got kind of wonky, and essentially we just had to really pull back on that for the last 2 weeks, and then now we're starting, I guess, week one of prep for bench. So essentially, squat and deadlifts will continue as we planned before, whereas for bench, we're just gonna run it as a separate prep for 5 weeks going into Worlds, since there's really not much of a choice, and I gotta slowly ramp up bench strength levels. Aside from that, it seems that squat and deadlifts are trending in the right direction, whereas bench seems to be. It has its good days, it has its bad days. We did bring back the fourth bench day where I'm doing tempo bench on day ones. Previously, I was only benching on days twos, fours, and fives. So now I'm benching on days 1, 2, 4, and 5. Um, Volume bench went pretty alright. Still seems like tempo bench is the only bench that actually moved decently. So I have two tempo benches on days ones and days, I believe, day fours. And those are the days where my bench seems to hold up the best when I slow down the movement a lot. Whereas when it comes to competition bench or any variation of competition bench, it seems that it doesn't actually hold up as well. So probably just need to execute with a bit more control and just learn how to hold a bit more tension, like I do with tempo bench. It is what it is. It's going to be something that I continuously work on throughout this prep. It's almost like relearning the bench itself. Something Victor noticed as well is the fact that my left wrist seems to be a bit more extended than my right, which could be a contributing factor to why sometimes my bench is lopsided and why one side seems to externally rotate more than the other, and the other side internally rotates a lot more. But it's a work in progress. I am quite conscious of it and trying to get it right. But we'll see how we go with it throughout the rest of the block. All right, day. What day am I on? What day is it today?
50.
Is it like Thursday or Friday or Wednesday?
Saturday.
Friday.
Friday. Sunday.
Friday.
Sunday.
Okay, this idiot. It's Friday, so it's day number 3. Yeah, day. Is it Friday? Fuck! I think I'm getting cooked. Let me check.
Sunday.
No, it's Friday. Okay, so it's yeah, I was right. It's Friday, day 3. So I've got primary deads and high bar squats. So into day 3 and day 4, I've got my high bar squats, primary deadlifts, and then on day 4, I've got my tempo bench with back off contest bench 7s and a bunch of rehab movements. So there's really not a whole lot to go over for these few days. These are rather my very mindless and chill training sessions, I would say. There's not much to discuss as a whole when it comes to this training. As a whole, though, everything felt pretty good. I mean, it is week 3 of phase 2, and everything was moving as it should. Feeling very strong, feeling very poppy. Deadlifts, I'm not gonna lie, as I was doing my wave loaded sets and wrapping up towards it, I was feeling like my left hip was starting to get a bit niggly. Oh yeah, I used code liftoff for 10% off Stoic. Yeah, so the left hip started getting a bit niggly, but then I just kind of did a bit of rehab from way back when that I remember to do, and then just kind of just quit being soft, really, and then everything just kind of fell into place. I think the thing for me is that for the last 2 years, I've been dealing with a lot of hip issues. My coach knows, my physio knows, my nutritionist knows. It's my deadlift tech has changed back and forth for the last 2 years, and it's been incredibly frustrating. So eventually, with this block, we made the decision to go back wider since the hips were healthier again, and position felt all right. And to be able to pull 262.5 for 4 once again, getting close to my all-time best of being able to pull 270 for 4s, which was done almost 3 years ago now. So to get back to that baseline, I'm very, very happy about that. And it's something that I've been wanting to get back to for a very long time, because when I pulled 270 for 4 at about an RP 8.5, that's when I managed to pull my all-time best 292 in comp. So, if I can get back up to that baseline, I'd be very happy. The 292 in comp actually ended up being very smooth, and I probably had another 2.5, maybe 5 kilos left in the tank for that one. So I'd be very keen to be able to chip that PR, since it has been a very long time since I PR'd my deadlift. So things are looking good for deads. I think things are looking good for squats as well. So we'll take what we can. All right, what's going on, guys? So day number 5, got my SBD session. So yeah, looks like it's gonna be the final session of the final week of phase 2 before we move on to the actual peak or prep for comp. But essentially, this last 6 weeks have just been preps. But like I said earlier in the first vlog, it's that we're breaking it down, my prep, into 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks blocks leading into Worlds. So obviously now on Wednesday we will start the final phase. I'm going to finish off strong, my last SBD session for this phase, and then after that, obviously for squat and deads, we continue resetting and then rebuilding. Whereas with my bench, due to the shoulder injury, we're just going to slow cook it all the way going into Worlds, due to the fact that the shoulder's kind of banged up, but at the moment it's holding up. So we'll see how it goes, and then we'll just take what's there. All right, let's go train. And on to the final day of the week and the final session of phase 2. Here we've got my primary squats, primary bench, and secondary deadlifts. Managed to squat a nice 240 at about an RP 7. Held position really well. I mean, it's probably the fastest I've ever moved this kind of weight, especially with no spots as well. So I was quite happy about the execution and how it moved. The moment I put the weight on my back, it actually felt really light. So essentially, whatever Victor and I are running for squats has been working very efficiently. So quite happy about that. So it's been a great way to cap off this phase for squat and deads. So although bench might not be where I'd want it to be, at least squat and deads have been trending in the right direction. So hopefully, I'll be able to hit a squat PR. I mean, the last time I hit a squat PR was only more than 6 months ago, probably about 8 months ago at Reformed, the local meet. With deads, the last PR I hit in comp was, SPO 21, so almost 3 years ago. So it would be nice to be able to hit a squat and deadlift PR. I'm not expecting a bench PR just because of how the shoulder is. If I can match a PR, it'd be great. If I can get close to it as well, it'd be great. But I'm really managing expectations for bench. You can even see with this 157, although it felt light in my hands, because the shoulder was a bit iffy and the setup was a bit off, it made the pressing itself a lot harder than it needed to be. Cleaned it up with the back offs with 145, made it move a lot better. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. There's only so much I can do to get it right. And then, of course, after bench, I had my pause deadlifts. There was a top single followed by back off singles, which is every minute on the minute. These have actually been the bread and butter of my deadlift. Just getting it to execute a lot better, making sure my hook grip is still in check, as well as just making sure that my position's a lot more refined. It's something that we found works a lot over the years, and it's something we always fall back to. So it's almost like a full circle moment. This is essentially similar to what I was running towards SPO 21, and this is how I got my deadlift to PR after 2 years, before that. So again, I'm back to where it started. It's a full circle moment. It's been 2 years again, and we're back to the same stance, the same programming, and hopefully we'll be able to hit a PR once again. But yeah, that sums up the week. It's been a pretty quiet week. Excited to get back into full prep mode. Body weight's holding up pretty nicely. And yeah, I think that's really all there is for this week. So pretty quiet week. Everything's sorted. Pretty happy with everything. So thanks for watching again. And I will see you all in the next one.